So I want to go. Something that sticks out for me was what May last time, because she was like, because they're saying like we got to do this, we're gonna miss the boat. But,
Yep.
I mean, what do you say to the argument of like, we don't have to rush it? Like, why pass bad laws just to get it in there? Because it'll be harder to take laws away. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's a fundamental misread of how legislation works. You never are going to pass the best bill. You're never going to pass a relatively good bill, really, at the end of the day, unless you have all of the miracle lines lined up and you're in the most progressive state. You know what I mean? We have never in the state of Hawaii passed the ideal piece of legislation. And if you're not willing to make a little bit of room for the in-betweens and compromise a little bit and say, okay, we might not get this time around, but we can fight like hell for it next year. We can fight like hell for it for 2 years from now, and we're not going to let up. But some progress is better than no progress. I think the no rushing thing, I think we had the best opportunity ever in the state of Hawaii to have a legalization effort this year. We had a supporting governor. Most of all the sitting representatives were relatively supportive of the issue. We had the opportunity to come together as a community and say, yes, but I think we really missed that boat.
So I'm just reading about this stuff. They're talking about like any rush in bills only causes problems.
So you can say that to any single bill that has ever existed, right? Like they rushed an abortion bill this year, but it was a great thing that codified abortion into law in the state of Hawaii so that if a woman wants the right to choose, she can do so. Mm-hmm. And they passed it in 1 year. Mm-hmm. And is it a perfect bill? Absolutely not. There are some things in there that you could probably pick apart and say, you know, well, should X about a blah, blah, blah. You can really, but they had to rush it through. Like it's an important thing to get through so that the federal government doesn't move on something and then eliminate it forever, right?
Right. And someone's saying that what we should be rushing is decrim and expungement.
I completely agree, and we should have done that 30, 40 years ago. We should have done that 20 years ago when we passed the medical law.
Right.
But you can't get a government to move to decrim something without measures in place to make sure it's safe. And I think that's the thing. Decrim will always come with how to do the licensing scheme, how to dispense it, how to relate to this thing in this new world.
I think that one's kind of cut and dry, though. Like, decrim is pretty much decrim, you know?
No,
it's
totally.
Like,
but again, to the point, like, if we were just to decrim, there was a bill this year to just decrim, and that's it. What would that mean for activities that don't happen currently, right? So currently it's illegal to, if I carried around 4 pounds, was going down Waikiki, had one boombox and handing out,
right.
You know what I mean, or selling, right, to people, selling cannabis. But if it was decriminalized and up to, you know, say 4 pounds, homie could do that if he wanted. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. That's not for me to determine, but you're thinking through the lawmaker's eyes and lenses. That's a failure of their duty to protect the public. That's a failure of their duty to regulate this product that is a controlled substance. We're going to get the federal government to come on our backs.
Yeah, I don't think that's like a practical scenario because, like, rolling around with 4 ounces, handing it out, like, first of all, no one really does that. And second of all, like...
But it would definitely happen if it decrims.
If it
That's what happened in New York.
Yeah, but, I mean, in Hawaii, I think, like, more so an intent to distribute would kind of be, you know, how they had the 3 to 9 to 3 to 9 thing going on.
Yeah.
That's more of a infrastructure that I could get around. Like, hey, yeah, you can't be just fucking handing out like Santa Claus, but at the same time, like, if it was card to card or, you know, along that confines, then I could see, like, fuck it.
But that's within a regulated program, though. And I think that's the thing is like they would have to come up with the rules that if they decrim to say, okay, card to card, and here are the rules around the card to card.
Right.
And I think that's the main discussion here, right? Is that like we can't decrim without some kind of rules of how you play with whatever is decrimmed.
Yeah, but
and
like I said,
unfortunate.
it's kind of like, black and white though. I mean, it's like it's a common sense line that you could draw. That's like.
But
obviously
common sense for whom, though? I think that's the question. Like, we can't... We still got to work with that system that their common sense is different than...
I understand, but, like
someone else's.
So we were honestly, like, just deferring everything because, like I said, that roadblock.
Yeah.
What we're talking about and this whole thing hits that roadblock to those unknown guys who are fucking, you know, pressing these buttons to get these bills passed or shut down.
Well, let's play this scenario out. Say 669 passed, right? And it has a 2-year pilot period, and no one can get a new license until year 3. what is now 2023. That means, 2024, 25, 26. You could apply for a license in 2026.
That's totally fine. Yeah.
Right. But now that's not going to be till 2026. It's going to probably be maybe 2028.
Right.
Because now they're going to have a whole new discussion. And they didn't pass a bill yet and all the things, right? So it's all like we want to get to the end goal, but if we can't have the conversation about what happens once we pass the goal, and we're just all going to say, well, we don't know, it's all unknown, it's there's too many unknowns, let's just not do it. I think we can never even get to a place to try, see what happens. And I don't prescribe to the idea that like you can't ever go back. That like if you pass something that's bad, you can't change it. I mean, that happens all the time.
Right.
Like we pass bad laws that get changed into good ones all the time.
Yeah.
And it just takes staying engaged, staying involved, knowing the issues, having an advocacy group. I mean, that's why 1,000 bills get sent to the legislature each year. 300 of them make it. And some of those bills, I would say 20% of them are like cleanup bills from like past stuff that they passed and was bad or didn't work out one way and they had to tweak.